Well, we've got a good crowd here today. So, I'd like to welcome to the Meriwether County Board of Commissioners, February 14th, 2024, 9:00 a.m. meeting. Happy Valentine's Day to everybody. First thing we'd like to do is make sure you have your phones and all electronic devices on silent so it doesn't interfere. And we'll start off with the invocation.
Please rise. Father, we come to you today as an assemblage of men and women who are seeking to do your work and to improve our community. Please bless us with wisdom, kindness, and fortitude as we continue to work to do your work in our community. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If we have anything we need to change on the agenda there, Ms. Allison?
Under new business, we need to add number 9, discussion of SUVs for the sheriff's office. We also need to add number 10, discussion of road patching.
Road patching.
Yes, sir. And number 11, authorize the chairman to sign the hazard mitigation grant.
Number 11, the chair to sign what?
Hazard mitigation grant.
Nothing to take off anywhere.
No, sir.
All right. Well, with those three added on there, do we have a motion to accept the agenda, adopt the agenda?
Make a motion to adopt the agenda with the amendments that are added for 9, 10, and 11.
A motion? Second. A second, all in favor? Yeah, thank you. Do we have any presentations today?
Yes, sir.
John, on finance report.
Mr. Chairman and Board of Commissioners, in front of you, have a bank statement balances as of yesterday afternoon, about 4 o'clock. The general fund's at 5.6 million. The rest of the funds are holding pretty steady. The investment pools for the general fund is at 8.1. The 103,000 interest that's been earned over the past 4 months. So interest right now is about 5% in the investment pool. Everything else is pretty good. You got January loss spot and T-spot distributions. They all came in a little higher, more likely due to Christmas shopping. We'll see what they are in February if that trend continue to go upward. And I've got also on the second page, you got your SPOS and T-SPOS. The SPOS balance as of today with all the commitments is $391,283.14. And the 2022 SPOS is at $1,362,468.92 that you can spend as of right now.
Yeah. Questions and comments? Thank you, John. Any reports from the department heads today?
Yes, sir. We do have a couple of updates for you. Meriwether County was awarded 2 internships from the Georgia County Internship Program, GCIP. That is something that the ACCG does on a yearly basis. And we have actually had an intern at Judge Radsnick's office for the last 3 years. So this is the 3rd year in a row that he's gotten the grant or gotten the intern. And this year we've got 2 interns out of 45. So it was a competitive process and we're proud that we got 2 of them. We have also had 2 animal control officers who came in as part-time, then went to full-time, and now have gotten certified as Animal Control Officer 1s. So it's great to see an employee go from part-time, full-time, and then get certified to better serve the citizens. Also, EMS has passed their yearly ambulance inspection, and everything was rated and is back on, or is on the road.
Any other department heads? See if you're here today, but just don't want to get up and talk. All right, nothing else, department head, we'll go right on into citizen comments. Do we have any?
We do have two signed up.
Two?
Read them.
Oh, yeah, I'll read that. Under citizens comments, speakers must contact the county clerk on or before the dates and times listed below in order to be placed on the agenda to speak. Speakers must provide their names, address, and topic which they wish to discuss. For the second Wednesday of the month, 9:00 a.m. meeting, speakers must email or call before 5 p.m. on the day before the scheduling meeting. For the fourth Tuesday of the month, 6:00 p.m. meeting, speakers must email or call before 5 p.m. on the day of the scheduled meeting. Speakers must direct their remarks to the board and not to individual commissioners or to the audience. Personal disagreements with individual commissioners or county employees are not a matter of public concern, and personal attacks will not be tolerated. Speakers will be allotted 3 minutes to speak on their chosen topic as they relate to the matters pertinent to the jurisdiction of the Board of Commissioners. No question will be asked by any of the commissioners during the citizens' comments. Outbursts from the audience will not be tolerated. Common courtesy and civility are expected at all times during the meeting. No speaker will be permitted to speak more than 3 minutes or more than once unless the board votes to suspend this rule. Now we'll move right on. How many we got?
The first speaker we have is Russell Pickering.
I don't see Russ. Huh. Okay, we'll move on.
And then we have Miss Shirley Baker.
Ms. Shirley Baker?
I've done this before, so don't mind.
Podium right there.
Yeah, touched it, nothing before. Shirley Banker, Middle Brooks Road, Woodbury, Georgia. Been there 20-something years, and I live down a dirt road. They came, I come by the other day and talked to him, a very nice young man, and talked to him and told him what kind of condition I was in. And he'd sent somebody out there, to do something. They looked at it one day and they came out the next day. This road has been done. This road has been done several times in the last couple of years. I even took pictures to show you what our road looks like. When you first go down the road, there is a beaver pond on the left, and the beaver pond that helped manage them. Because it runs over, you'll see pictures of them as it runs over. They did come in and do something. Of course, it rained since then. And it has now, they dug the ditches out down the road, halfway down the road. And they skipped some ditches. And I noticed when it rained the other day, the water come down the road instead of going to the ditches because they didn't put the ditches in there. Okay. And I found out yesterday too that the pipe is stopped up that goes across. And that's one of the reasons why it goes across the road. But we've always had this problem, and I realize that Beaver Pond is not on county property, it's on public property, but we've got to do something with that or that road's gonna wash out. They did something the other day, excuse me, they did something the other day to the highway, to the paved road, the dirt road, and the part of the road is kind of caving in. Where they fix it, it's going back down again. Somebody's gonna go in that ditch with their car and somebody's gonna get hurt and is gonna sue the county. If they hadn't been down that road before. But I did not realize until, the road is bad. Even I'm the first house on the left. I did not realize until the other day how bad the other end of the road was. It's almost as bad as the first part is. Me and my husband were driving around the other day, and you got Finley, Cato, and Fern Road, where the county has went in and redone them. It looks awesome. But I can't understand why the county, and I understand we got a bunch of dirt roads in the county. I don't understand why the county cannot come in and do something with Middle Brooks Road. It's that bad. Why can't, I understand we got a budget. I understand that. But you did so much of that Fern, whatever it is, you did so much of that road. Couldn't we have taken some of that and did the other roads too? I didn't realize we had so many dirt roads until I saw it on Facebook last night and they were fussing. I'm going, you need to come to the commissioners meeting then. But like I said, I'm not fussing. I just don't understand why we can't do something with these dirt roads. Mine, I'm talking about. But I can't understand why we can't do anything with them.
All right, well, I appreciate you bringing your attention and we'll address it. I promise you that.
Well, like I said, I went and talked to him. That's the reason why it got started, because I went and talked to him about it. So like I said, I understand we on a budget, absolutely. But we need to do something to these dirt roads.
Thank you.
Okay.
Appreciate you. Any other comments from anybody? Then we'll move right on. Next on the agenda is the minutes. Everybody's had a chance to look over the work session minutes. It's January 23rd, 2024, 4 o'clock work session. Is, I want to make a motion to accept the minutes, or do you see something need to be changed?
Make a motion to accept as presented.
Have a motion? Second. A second, all in favor? The minutes for the January 23rd, 2024, 6 o'clock p.m. regular meetings. I've had a chance to look at that. Is there any changes somebody feel needs to be done, or I'll make a motion to accept the minutes?
I make a motion to accept as presented.
Got a motion? Second. A second, all in favor? Thank you. I guess we have anything in the public hearing.
No, sir.
Going to go right on into appointments. The first one, appointments is DPACs to fill a vacant term that will expire on 6/30/2024, District 1, that's my district. I had reached out to a lady and she's very well qualified. She met with the board or somebody on the board and they were excited to have her come on. So I will make a motion to put Miss Joanne Lynch on the DPAC board representing District 1. Second, all in favor? Joanne Lynch. YNCH. Number 2, Planning Commission to fill an unexpired term that will end on 1/5/2025. That's District 4.
This Commissioner Brad Gill is not here. I make a motion to table until he's present.
That's
In his district.
second, all in favor? That'll be moved to the next meeting. Thank you. Public Facilities Authority to fill a term that expired on 12/31/2023.
I've discussed this with Mr. Larry Dunaway, and he has agreed to accept this position, and I make a motion to appoint Larry Dunaway.
Got a motion? Second. A second, all in favor? Thank you, Larry. Lake Meriwether Advisory Board to fill an appointment that will expire on January 28th, 2024. That's District 2. This is a 2-year appointment.
And that is my district, and Ms. Dora Terry, who's has been serving in the past, has agreed to extend her appointment. I make that in form of a motion to reappoint Ms. Dora Terry.
We have a motion? Second. And a second. All in favor?
2 seconds, which one?
Pick one.
Okay.
Nothing under unfinished business. Now we're gonna move right on into new business. Replacement of jail locks, doors, door frames, hinges at the Meriwether County Jail.
Chairman, Board of Commissioners. We opened the bids and, well, let me start back. We had a pre-bid meeting at the jail. We had 5 companies represented there, along with Blue, Cole, Assistant Administrator, Mike Serrano, and myself, and we did a walkthrough to the jail. We got proposals back from 3 of those companies. The proposals were due on December the 14th, 2023 at 2 p.m. Opened by Commissioner Collins, John Gordon, Larry Gay, Christy Gillespie, Blue Cole, and myself, and Matt Moreland with Cornerstone attending. The bids were Willow Products at $558,491, Cornerstone's Tension at $435,649.58, and CA Owens at $408,700. My recommendation would be to go with CA Owens. It took me a pretty good while to check them out and get all the information back from them, but it was the best bid, the lowest and the best bid. Any question?
I was going to ask, this does replace all the jail locks in the original part of the jail, correct?
Yes, it's in the detention areas, all their electric over mechanical locks, replacing door hinges, doors and door frames in some instances, control panels, the door closures.
I know this is long overdue, and I would make a motion to go ahead and accept the CA Owens at $408,700. And maybe I should add in there, does this include a warranty for any extended period of time?
I'm sure it's for about a year.
Okay,
Yeah, 1 year equipment warranty.
1 year, okay. Just want to make sure. But I make that in form of a motion.
These are very, very reputable companies, do work all over the United States.
I have a motion. Second. And second, all in favor? Thanks.
Thank you.
Where's the funding from?
We will have this budget coming through probably SPOS.
The next thing we have here is the city of Woodbury, Meriwether County Jail inmate housing contractual agreement.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, this is an agreement, it's a three-party agreement between the county sheriff and the city of Woodbury. And this will set up a procedure whereby the sheriff can house the inmates from the town of Woodbury. And the cost is, I think, $40 a day for that. And of course, they'll be housed as long as available space to be able to accommodate. So we recommend approval.
Motion from the board.
I make a motion to accept the agreement as a three-party agreement and with the chairman to sign.
We have a motion. And a second. All in favor?
Also, we need to check that address to make sure that's showing the PO box.
Okay.
All right, number 3, resolution of the Board of Commissioners regarding the Meriwether County Board of Education East Block 7.
Okay. Chairman, Commissioners, the Board of Education sets their millage rate every year, but has to come in and be approved through the Board of Commissioners. And so what they're doing is they're asking in this document, they've had a E-SPLOS that was recently approved. And they're wanting to borrow money under I think the GEO type bond. And they're going to pay it back with proceeds from the E-SPLOS, but also with proceeds from the tax dollars, property taxes. And what they're asking here is for the Board of Commissioners to be able to approve the levy of this for the next 5 years and then 7 years after that. Little different agreement. I don't know that I've seen like this before. They have where they come to the county to ask to be approved, but again, they're the recommending authority, and you guys are the levying authority. So I'm sure that's what they want.
Yeah, it's just like every year, technically, even though everybody, the Board of Education, it's just the way the law is set up in Georgia. The Board of Education is a recommending authority. Y'all are letting.
Yeah.
It's kind of smoke and mirrors, but y'all don't really have any. So that's what the Board of Education. Yeah. You don't like school taxes, you go down to the Board of Education complain. So they have to submit this to you for you guys to approve the levy so they can get repaid it. So that's all it is.
That sounds good. With all that being said,
There's no risk to you guys.
No.
This doesn't get in your pocket.
If it didn't do it this way, you'd have to come and do it every year anyway.
Right.
all right, any other questions from the board, or do I have a motion?
Motion to accept as presented.
Got a motion and a second. Got a second, all in favor? Thank you. Number 4, intergovernmental agreement between Meriwether County Board of Commissioners and the town of Gay for fire inspections with a certified fire chief.
Sandra? Okay, there's.
Okay, with the town of Gay, we do not have an intergovernmental agreement to do any of their inspections. And they're in need of having fire inspections done for when they have their events and things at the fair. And So they have asked if we could do an intergovernmental agreement, being able to use our fire chief, Mick Smith. And then we will bill them on a monthly basis for each inspection that is done by him.
This would not be building inspection.
No, this is
would be
just for the fire. This is only fire.
Yeah, they had reached out the other day wanting to get some stuff done. They-
Right, and I didn't have
an
it-
agreement with us, so.
Correct,
Told them to reach out to you.
correct.
Yeah, so it's very understandable. So have I got a motion or any questions from the board? To enter this agreement? I'll make a motion that we go into this agreement with the city of Gadsden.
I'll second.
You got a second? All in favor?
Thank you.
Thank you. Number 5, appointment ACCG 2024 interlocal risk management agency contacts.
You guys work with those ordinance.
Right now, every year we have to make sure our contacts are updated. This is basically for, our safety program. We also have to have a contact for our insurance program. Previous years, it has been Beverly Thomas. John can speak to the, insurance portion of it, if that's something he's interested in.
Yeah, I pulled the invoice and we had about 70% discount. So last year we got about $30,000 discount for having safety appointment. We're probably not.
And I would recommend that we, I don't want to put more on her, but, Alice be the, contact person. Because she is, will be taking on the role of Beverly's Beverly.
Is that the contact for the insurance?
And the, yes, claims she don't.
I may put in the insurance, but we have to also have one for safety.
Okay. All right. So we'll do the insurance contact with you. And what about the claims contact? That would-
Same.
Same, yes.
Or if it's already Valerie, is that for workers' comp?
That's, already like, yeah, there's a ACG Herbert liaison contact. That is, that's HR. And that would need to be Valerie.
Valerie, okay.
So we'll have Alice first, John
Sure.
second,
I'll be happy to.
and then Alice will be for the third, and then we'll have Valerie as HR person. Anything that comes through this, we did this, we'll come back to you guys.
And if no questions, do we have a motion to, enter this with the ACCG 2024?
Make a motion to accept the contact form as outlined by Administrator Gay.
Got a motion? Second. A second, all in favor? Thank you. Number 6, approval for submission of the fiscal year 24 raise.
Yes, yes, sir, Chairman, Commissioners. As you know, staff have been working on a large transportation grant through the U.S. Department of Transportation. The grant is due on February 28th. So staff is asking for permission for the chairman to sign prior to the 28th. The grant is not completely ready as of today, but it will be ready within the deadline for him to sign it. What the grant does is it provides to rebuild and restore our transportation network. We are asking for a total of $10,425,000, and it's going to be broken into 4 components. Culverts, where we replace 100 culverts a year, where we gravel, over a 4-year period, where we gravel 30 miles of roadway, we repair 20 miles, and we pave 10 miles. Each of those components will do several different things to our transportation network to improve it. We will match that with some of our currently programmed and obligated T-SPLOST, SPLOST, and general funds in the amount of $4,325,000 over a 4-year period. Now, this is an amount that we are currently spending. As we are now, this helps us support the application because of Meriwether's poverty statistics. We are not required to have any cost share or match, but by adding this into the mix, it becomes a 14% Yes, sir. A $15 million contract instead of just a 10. We are getting support letters from Board of Education, West Georgia Technical College, CAFE, Three Rivers, and I may have a couple more that are sitting in there. It's a very competitive contract. I'm sorry, a very competitive grant. And it's an opportunity. It's simply an opportunity for us. We are not risking anything other than what we have already done, or that we're already doing on the roads, and just staff time in preparing it. I will provide a finished draft of it before submission. You guys received a draft in your mailboxes last week sometime with a draft. So if there's any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them.
Food you can get, it's gonna be a blessing. Go ahead.
Mhm.
No, so I just want to make sure that, since all this is on record and people looking at it, this is going to, if it's approved, 2.5 times additional funds of what we already commit to on a regular basis.
Yes, sir.
So this is a huge, as you mentioned, this is a huge hit
Mhm.
for us to get. I think I appreciate you working on it. We'll all be praying that we get it.
Thank you.
It's a
Us
major
too.
step in the right direction that moves us to what we need to do to get these roads under control.
Mhm. Yes, sir.
It's a huge blessing and opportunity, and I hope and pray we get it.
Mhm.
Any other questions? You want to make a motion for us to make them move forward with that?
I make a motion we move forward with the finalization and submission for the grant.
For the everything.
A second. All in favor? Thank you.
Thank you, commissioners.
Number 7, updating the recreation agreement with the city of Manchester. It's there. Yes.
Yeah, we met with both parties. We met with, county recreation staff, who's working with us. And then we also met with the mayor and council member from the Manchester about recreation. I think that both parties, will agree, on what is the long-term solution. But I think they both differ on how we need to get there. You know, so there's two different thoughts. The recreation staff feels that it's time we're going to move forward as we are with, the county program. They feel like we have a stronger program right now with more participants than Manchester does, and they don't really kind of want to sit back. They, you know, one of the comments was, well, you know, we talked about it forever. If we don't do it, you know, it'll never get done. The city believes that time to allow both parties to work on the plan for moving forward is the best approach. And I think both parties would be in a position where they could compromise their positions a little bit. One of the things I'd like to see them do is, and we mentioned to them, is work it out where the youth teams on both programs could go ahead and play each other this year. And so I do think that they would also look at maybe a reduced dollar amount that we've been contributing, because we're already, 4 months into the budget year, and we're already 2 months into the calendar year. And my recommendation is that I think we're going to need some further discussion with maybe a couple board members here to be able to discuss this matter and come to a resolution. And my recommendation would be that we set up another meeting with representatives from Manchester, our representatives of recreation, and also maybe a couple board members and staff, just to see what we can do to hammer out a solution for this. And then once that is done, and we have that issue resolved, we need to start meeting with some of the other cities about recreation. I've had a call from one city who's very, very interested in sitting and talking about recreation, and actually, kind of wanted to be involved in this meeting. But I said, well, this is a different meeting. This is to resolve a matter between, one jurisdiction and the county. And I did say that we will need to do that. So that would be my recommendation, is if you guys could appoint just a couple of your board members to be there, we'll get a meeting set up between both of those parties, us and you guys, and we'll try to hash out something and move forward.
Yeah, well, we can have that meeting before the next meeting.
Yes.
Within the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, we can do that. We can do that.
Yeah.
All right, we just need
No
to,
action today, right?
no action today, other than just, what we need to do is have a couple people volunteer. You guys have your,
Do we need to make a motion though, that we're gonna?
I think you as chairman just
I'll just decide amongst
Yeah.
yourselves, just make sure it's not more than two of them.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I don't have a problem being one if nobody else, but anybody can, I don't have to be. So
Mr. Collins has sat in, I sat in one with him a couple before that last one, and then you sat in on the last one with him. And you were very involved with sports and athletic stuff, so I'm fine with you and Colin Brooks if you're willing to. Look on it too.
Whatever.
yeah, I mean, no matter to me, I just say.
So do you want to sit on it? He doesn't mind, so. Rover can do it. Okay.
How do you want it?
Your,
I would like to-
your jurisdiction is very interesting
I know.
in recreation. That's what.
I know.
Yeah.
I would like to make a comment about it, so, just to get it out there, because I've heard this and it's been bugging me. It's been, and I want to make sure the board, we don't make any decisions based on these comments that have been going around, and they're, pretty much hearsay, no one's directly said it to me, but if there is a threat hanging over out there, of coaches saying they're not going to participate if we go and move in with Manchester and do this program again, those gentlemen and ladies shouldn't be coaches in the first place, in my opinion, if that's what it's going to take for them to walk away from children and set that kind of example to them. So please don't let that attitude or unprofessionalism taint what we need to do for the children of this county. If they don't believe in that and I wouldn't support, do what's right to move children forward, they're not gonna hold that over my head and, risking those children being able to participate and do things and have positive role models that they don't get at home sometimes because of their feelings. It's, I don't know, so I've heard that and I don't know how true it is, but it's something really just, it burns me up and grown men and women to be playing with children's lives in that kind of situation. I just,
And the only comments I've been having from different ones throughout the county or parents is, I think y'all went into this agreement almost 10 years ago.
Wasn't quite that long. It was about, it probably was though about 7, 8 years ago, 2015, okay, end of 2015.
They're just.
Yeah.
Like I said, you hear people say different things. They were saying they thought it was going on like 10 years, but 150,000 a year and $1.5 million. And what do we have to show for on the county side for all that money? Where's it at? What do we have and so forth. So,
Yeah.
But I think y'all both do a great job sitting in on it. I hope we can get this resolved and like before said, it's for the benefit of the kids, children.
Right.
So, all right.
Absolutely.
We'll move on.
And what I will, one more comment on that, Mr. Chairman, if I could. Once we get this resolved, we really do need to move forward, because one of the things that's so easy to do is say, well, this is out of the way. We've got a lot of other stuff going on. We'll just push it over to the back burner. And then first thing you know, we'll be back at the end of this year's contract and we won't have accomplished anything. So we need to, once we resolve this, we need to move forward with whatever action we're going to do.
and we need to have this meeting before our February 27th meeting.
We can do that.
That's what I was asking for.
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Number 8, discussion of capital projects for 2024.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, we all kind of worked on some of this as well. Luke, you got something you want to go with?
Yes, sir. I wanted to bring to the commissioners an update on our filming out at the covered bridge. We have a couple of individuals from the production company here. Kyle, if you'd come up, please. Before filming started, the studio sent out a safety engineer to the covered bridge. Because it is over 180 years old, there were some slight concerns that he had. Production company came to us last week with some options and some opportunities, and they have found a company that does historical bridge restoration and renovation. They have brought them out here to take a look, and they have proposed a fix that will cost about $23,000. The production company has graciously offered to reimburse us for that. And I have Mr. Kyle Carey here with the production team, and I will let him take over, speak from here and correct anything that I misstated.
Nope, that was perfect. Thank you. I'd like to thank the board for your time. Again, my name is Kyle Carey. I'm the location manager here on behalf of Bride Lake Productions LLC. We are planning to do our filming at the Red Oak Creek Covered Bridge As Lou pointed out, we brought in a structural engineer to take a look at the bridge specifically from the standpoint of a production company, because we may have a different load than the traditional traffic, as GDOT might interpret it. So one of the primary things that were pointed out by that structural engineer, just over time, whether naturally or unnaturally, there are historic wooden pegs that are in the middle of the cross trusses that are on the left and right side of the interior of the bridge that have shifted significantly. So what we did was contacted a company out of Ohio called the Ryder Group that specializes in historic preservation of covered bridge. They do not work in the area. Obviously, we were looking for a local contact, and they recommended Suncoast Waterproofing and Restoration. I also reached out to Mr. Bill Caswell, who's the president of the Society of Historic Preservation of Covered Bridges. He was also familiar with Suncoast and was familiar with work that they had done in the area on the Concord Bridge and had recommended them as well. So we have Mr. David Ledford here as well with Suncoast. But I think first and foremost want to say that we see this as historic preservation working alongside the county. We're guests here in Meriwether County, and our filming is just making a television show. At the end of the day, we want to make sure that we're good guests. And we see this as an opportunity to work alongside the county to provide historic preservation to the bridge so that we can guarantee that it stands and is beautiful for even longer than it has already. So again, I want to thank you for your time. And if I can answer any questions, or if Mr. Ledford can answer any questions specific to the work that would be done, we're happy to do so.
I'm very curious to ask, what type of work are we going to be doing to the bridge?
Yes. So, and I'll let Mr. Ledford speak to the specifics as well, but the wooden pegs that have shifted, basically for the most part, they've shifted outwards towards the outside of the bridge. What would be done is there is a press that can pull those historic pegs back into place so that instead of being flush or extending too far on one side, there would be about 2 to 3 inches of those pegs sticking out on each side. Other than that, there's a couple of the driving tracks that have gotten a little loose, which more so than anything create a tripping hazard for the production company crew. Those would be secured. And then there are also some rotted portions on the uncovered portion of the bridge just due to water damage that we would be addressing as well, which again is primarily a tripping hazard, the main focus being the structural aspects of it. But I'll let Mr. Ledford kind of speak to how that would work.
So David Ledford with Suncoast Restoration and Waterproofing. We are out of Norcross, Georgia. The structural engineer, the report that he gave addressed specifically the trunnels being one of his main concerns. Those are a structural component. They just help hold everything together. And like Kyle said, they've displaced over the years. Some of them are only partially displaced. Some of them are actually almost all the way through the first or the interior truss. So there's not really any contact at all. The structural engineer suggested that the siding be removed and we hammer them back in. We approach it a little bit more gingerly than that. We do have a method where basically we're just going to apply a jack kind of on the inside of the bridge. There'll be a plate that goes on the backside of that trunnel, and we're just going to slide that trunnel back into position so that, like Kyle said, it just sticks inside of the bridge about an inch or so, and that'll give you your structural capacity back. The drive lane boards, as I walk through, those of course probably are not from the 1840s. I'm sure they've been replaced over the years. There's a variety of fasteners holding them down. We'll use a galvanized spike, similar to the majority of the ones I saw out there, just to fasten those things back down. If there are any boards that need to be replaced on that exterior portion, I do have several wood providers that I work with. Kyle also said there's a gentleman in Gay that has historical lumber too. We'll try and source it locally, but anything we would replace on those deck boards, we would try and make it appear as historical as possible. So what I brought today was he reached out to us because we did do a renovation in 2017 of Concord Bridge, which is in Smyrna, Georgia. That bridge gets a little bit more traffic than Red Oak Creek. There's about 10,000 cars a day that take that bridge.
I think it's about 5.
While I was out there the other day looking at it and admiring
Maybe a
it,
horse wagon.
there were 2 that came through, one guy carrying the seed, and I was like, this is great. I brought that if you guys want to see the kind of work that we do. This one was a lot worse shape. It was, the covered portion was about 12 inches out of plumb, so it kind of sat like crooked when you looked at it. But we completely straightened that thing, got it back within a 1/4 inch over the 131-foot span. We completely re-sided it, reshingled the roof with cedar shakes. We also applied some clear coatings that prevent graffiti, and they're reduce the flammability, because up in that area especially, they had a big problem with people marking up the bridge and things like that. But we do specialize in not just historical preservation. We do a lot of concrete and structural steel restoration. We take on jobs that are technical that nobody else really knows how to deal with. We take pride in what we do, and when I told my general superintendent I was going to look at another wooden bridge, his eyes lit up, because he is by trade master carpenter. And so there's not a lot of work to do on it, but he's still excited to get out here.
But I have another question now that I'd like to address to the staff now. Have we reached out to the Georgia and Historic Preservation?
No, ma'am, not
We
yet.
need to do that.
We do need to do that.
Yes.
Mhm.
That because we are designated as a National Historic Structure, or at least with the state, I believe it's on the National Register also, we need to make sure before we proceed with anything that we have cleared everything with them as well.
We would need to get, approval from them. I think what we do is we would show them a plan of repairs and get them to sign off on that and approve it, because we don't want to do anything that would harm that classification, because there are going to be monies available
Exactly.
down the road to be able to help, maintain that. And that's one of the reasons we wanted to kind of get this back before the board today, because there's a lot of moving parts, a lot more than just going down and
Right.
just doing that.
Do we even have a copy of the structural engineer's report and recommendations as a staff or county?
No, sir, we don't. We haven't gotten it yet.
I don't see where we could do anything until we physically can review what the structural report and
Okay.
recommendation.
I'm sure they can get, I'm sure they can get it to us.
We need that, and what the full scope of work would be based on those recommendations, have the state agree with that. And then, until we get that,
Right.
if the guys want to work on the bridge, I mean, no offense, but
We had that one time before, and I'm not in the same situation as these guys that worked, the guy worked on the bridge, and that's one of the reasons we went back and had the structural engineer take a look at it, or from our standpoint, because those things protruded down into the travel lane, and then a truck come by and hit it, and really a wonder that it didn't, do more damage than what it did. So
I think it's a great.
My next question is that going to impede with what your plans are as far as filming and production and all, because this seems like it's gonna fast track to get the clearance in, to get it to, I mean, we're gonna have to ask that the state give us approval or whatever, but we've got to have something in writing of what's going to be accomplished and or what's being proposed, and whether or not it would meet the state approval.
I would think we need a copy of that engineering report.
Exactly.
We need a proposed correction plan. We need agreements between all the parties. I know the moving company says, they'll cover the cost, but we just can't take that. I mean, honestly, I would believe them, no problem, but when you do business with other people, you gotta have everything in paper. So all these things have to be in place. I will say that I don't know what their load capacity of the bridge is for the filming, but I do know that it's about a 3 ton.
3 tons, yes, sir.
Bridge is engineered, as reviewed by GDOT. I do know that we had probably at least 100 people on that bridge on several different occasions, because we used to do a dinner on the bridge. It was kind of unique fundraiser for the chamber and everything years ago, and we had no problems whatsoever. And I understand what they're talking about. I appreciate them looking at it, but we just got to kind of get everything and all our ducks in order, I think, before we move forward.
Well, that's what my question was gonna be. I was waiting till everybody got theirs is, I appreciate you finding this for us and willing to help with it. But when you said we brought them in because of the load, you know, it speaks for small vehicles. A big truck can't cross it no how.
Right.
So it made me concerned right off the bat, what kind of load are you talking about putting on that bridge that made y'all bring instructions? I'm glad he came.
Right.
I'm glad we're finding this. I think it's gonna benefit us in the future. But, what kind of load were we talking about for you to go, hey, we need to have a structural engineer see this thing ain't gonna fall?
Right. Honestly, the answer is mostly foot traffic, and then filming equipment, which can vary from lighting to set dressing, things like that. But there's nothing excessive that's planned to actually access the bridge. Certainly nothing that would exceed the 3-ton limit. Us doing a structural report is merely standard practice, just so that we also have something to set rules and regulations for the production company itself and to make sure that we're doing everything safely. So we frankly tend to operate with a rather large safety buffer built in. So even with a 3-ton limit, we don't want to come close to exceeding what it may say that it can hold. So we tend to operate much lower than what any structural would say it can handle this amount of weight. So that's so that, again, we have something on file with the production company as well. And then just to make sure that we're going above and beyond to make sure that all of our work is done safely.
How fast do we need to move to still meet your production timeline?
Well, honestly, as of right now, which this is a relatively new development, our filming is going to take place at a later date. Some of that is driven by the weather, but also I think everyone is in agreement that we need to make sure that everything is done properly on the front end before any work begins at that point.
To do this the right way.
We do. How much time? Frankly, I don't know, because I don't know when it will fall back on the schedule at that point. So our hope would be to work with the county, have the work done when possible and safe to do so. And then whenever it does come onto the schedule, we are able to begin prep work for filming at that point. So no immediate rush. We can certainly make sure that we're doing it correctly. But hoping to continue moving forward with it as well.
And commissioners, this just came to light on Thursday. So getting the information and the stuff that we've gotten that they've been able to provide has been a great assistance, but this is fairly new to all of us.
What I'd recommend is if you guys get the engineering report, maybe a proposed contract together from the company.
Mhm.
Let us know what that work will be, scope of work will be. And then a letter from the production company saying you guys will cover the cost. Then we could submit all that up and get everything taken care of. Board meets again in 2 weeks. And, if you guys could get all that information and we could get the clearance from the state, we can bring it back at that time.
Sure, the state is gonna have a list of things too.
Yes.
I'm sure they're gonna have all the information.
Right, absolutely.
Yep. And we're happy to do all that. Absolutely.
Well, you guys, that's why I asked, we want to do it as fast as, if people think government's slow, that we're slow. The state's really slow. We want to make sure we get it done right, but do it in a time frame. We don't lose this opportunity to work with you guys in this county. So,
And we appreciate it. Thank you so much.
All right.
Mhm.
Thank
All right.
Thank you, commissioners.
you. Anything else there under the capital projects?
Yes,
We're gonna discuss capital projects, right?
Yes.
Okay.
yes, sir. Yeah,
Yeah. What else do you have?
that's it.
That's it?
Yes, sir.
All right. At your work session on end of January 23rd, we discussed a lot of non-transportation capital projects that we needed to do. And in order to move forward with the needs, we're going to need some direction from the board itself as to what you want to do. We got to establish a priority list and a project list for the year because we're in mid-February right now. And if there's projects that we need to get done, we want to go ahead and get started. So what we need to do today is address with you guys several things. We need to establish a project list that we want to accomplish this year. It needs to be a reasonable list we can accomplish. We need to remove any projects that you do not want to do that we discussed. And we want to schedule a work session later on to prioritize future projects. We'll know when we get these through, what's our next step. So for 2024, two or three things that I think we need to do. One is the courthouse. We talked about the roof, the tower and the steeple. We have dome. We have actually repaired those. We're hoping that that would have solved some of the leaks. But there is a section of roof, and there's a section of roof over the record rooms we have repaired. Now, I think we're satisfied that the dome and everything is not leaking anymore. But what we are getting is in a situation of heavy rain, we're still getting leakage through the other roof that's below the dome. So it comes down, you got the bell tower and the dome, and then there's a whole roof system underneath that, and that's where it's leaking. And then there was a flat section of where the record room is, and that's been fixed by the company that did the work up here. We feel like that after discussion that we could probably add a TPO roof pretty similar to what they did up here to the jail. But the only difference is that was a long flat roof. This is going to be one that's broke up in a lot of different sections. So it may be kind of costly to do. But anyway, we feel like that is one of the first things we need to do. This may cost in the neighborhood of $500,000 or so. We don't know until we really put it out for bid. But with the height of the building and everything, that'll factor in. Then we need to do the remediation for the third floor and remove the mold. I think Blue's done some work on that. The cost is estimated about $150,000
For one floor, the third floor.
That's one floor, yes. And then HVAC.
When you say that, does that mean there's mold on other floors, or why are you being specific about that's for one floor?
Because I didn't want commissioners to think 150 was going to do the whole courthouse. Right now, the third floor has mold in there that we need to get rid of. So that's our focus right now. While we're working on the other floors, we will probably plan to do it, but I can't and would rather not say if it does or doesn't.
And if it
First and
does, you
second.
can come back and do that.
Mhm. Yeah,
We
yes,
already knew that.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
Gotta
sir.
read between.
Right, yeah.
I went there the other day and it was having hard rain.
Mm-hmm.
And now there is still the dome, there is a bucket there, kept the water dripping, but
Yeah.
that's coming from the hatch.
Yes, so we can get that hatch on
Lee
there.
told me the hatch, something about it being sealed, that hadn't been replaced yet. So that's allowing water still to come down and come through the ceiling and drip in a bucket right dead center of the dome. So that needs to be addressed ASAP, because that was supposed to be already fixed, the dome.
Yeah, the problem is getting it up there with, because it takes quite a piece of equipment to get that hatch up there. And hopefully what we may be able to do when we have the people come up for the materials, maybe they could assist us with that hatch.
But do they even have any kind of cover over the hatch though?
Yeah, they have a metal cover that, am I right, Bill? It's already been designed to cover the hatch.
Yeah, we could buy prefab like fiberglass hatch.
Yeah.
Go up there.
Yeah.
Below the opening there's a bowl that has a drain pipe out on the copper dome. That was stopped up. He's gonna try to get it opened up.
Right, that's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
We're fighting the mold issue, but water's still coming in, but the rest of the part leaking. Yes,
Yeah.
I saw it running down the walls. On the third floor, there is mold, there's critters, there's bugs, it's disgusting. But all that's from once we stop the water.
Yeah, once we stop the water, and then once you get
Clean that up.
HVAC in there, you've got to dry it up. That's the way to deal with it. So we've also included the replacement of the HVAC, and I think you got some cost estimate. That was about $600,000 for the total.
Yes, sir. Principal had come back with 200,000 per floor, and then for 600 total.
And those
It was
are,
not an HVAC company.
Subcontract.
Subcontract.
Why don't we go direct to a contractor like we did with the jail?
we will. That was just an estimate.
Mhm.
We'll put this back
Mhm.
out. If you guys approve it in a complete RFP, we'll bid it out to everybody else.
Yeah, it needs. to be.
Yeah.
Even our maintenance guy, Lee, had mentioned to me that day I was in the building. I think there's a company out of the Grange, Apex Roofing or something. They've been there, looked at it.
Yeah.
And I think he said they had offered something like around 350,000 with
Yeah.
a quite a few year warranty, and that includes the copper area too.
Well,
Okay.
So we didn't put it out.
We'll follow up with Lee on that
Yeah.
because this is first we've
we'll put
heard
it out.
this.
And, the
I
company
hadn't
did
seen
the
it
jail.
right. I'm just saying.
Right.
We need to.
Well, we haven't put together the RFP yet because we really wanted to make sure that we got approval from you guys, because we don't want to just spin the wheels. So that's why we're talking about this thing today. So we would recommend that we seek, bids for roof, remediation of the third floor, and replacement of HVAC on all three floors. And then we work with John, our finance director. He's already done some work on identifying funding for this. So we'll identify that once we get those proposals out. Another project we need to do is, in our opinion, is the jail. We've done the roof on the original building. We didn't do any work on the annex due to the overall poor condition of that building. Today, you guys approved the locks and the doors. The last step in this would be approval of plumbing. Now, we bid this project, but we didn't have any vendors show up to respond. We've invited several large plumbing companies out to give us a price for the work. And I put down a range of cost here on this thing, but we don't really know till we get it finished. But I think it could be somewhere within that $500,000 range. I know that Bill Cawthorn has met there with some contractors, and I think we're pretty close to trying to get some proposals in on that as well. But those are two of the major buildings we really need to concentrate on for this year. We also need to discuss.
I thought I had forwarded the email, but not, I'll double check with you and Bill, but Fitzgerald Plumbing, P3C, they got one guy that's all he does is handle the major commercial stuff.
Right.
And he was wanting an opportunity to come out and walk through and look at it too.
Okay, that's fine.
I sent Fitzgerald a bid, the original bid.
You didn't hear nothing back? Okay. Well, he sent me one of the guys sent me an email about 2 weeks ago, following up going, I haven't heard from anybody, so we'll find out where the miscommunication is on that. Okay, go ahead, sir.
All right. So we talked about the courthouse and the jail. A few other things we talk about is pathways. This is renovation for the elections office, moving the elections office there. We received proposals on that because we were kind of trying to fast track at that time, but they came in at approximately $500,000, and we brought that to you guys. You thought that was a little high, suggested we develop a bid package, but we never got a definite to do that. The cost estimate could be between 200 to 300, just depending on how the scope of work, but that's another project we need to look at. We have to kind of tie that in with, and I think some of the election folks are here today.
Please put that as a priority. November 24th is going to be very busy.
Yeah. So that's another thing we could put together. What we'll do is go back and we'll just kind of spec it out and get some bid packages out for that. Then we got the Greenville Recreation Park here. Approximately 3 years ago, maybe a little bit more, we applied for a federal grant to develop the Passage Park up here on McLaughlin Road. That included trails, nature trails, green field, playground, pavilions, bathrooms, and a dog park. The grant was for $200,000, and we proposed a $200,000 match plus in-kind labor for grading, et cetera. Since that time, and of course, once the grant was approved, and it took a little while to get it approved because it wasn't on the first cycle or the second cycle. Once it was approved, we moved forward with formal plans and specifications. And since that time, cost of work and playground equipment other equipment has increased drastically. I know playground equipment is double in price of what it was. You get it for 40 to 50, that's like close to 100%. So, we need to see if this is something you guys want us to move forward with. We were going to do rough grading. I know we got a lot of grading to do. We also have a road we're going to be working on for IDA. But this project has to be complete by the end of this year, 12/31/2024. And so we need some direction on that. If we reduce the scope or change the scope in any manner, we still have to go back through all the process again.
Yeah, I spoke with the lady that helps handle the grant. She's our grant, the person we report to, have to send in quarterly reports.
Yeah.
She's advising that if we change the scope of work by reducing some of the items on the grant, that there is a process we have to go through with them, filling out the request for the amendment, then turn around, they have to send it through the federal side that helps with that grant. Then we have to wait on approval from that. Then if we're given approval, then they send it back as amended, but we don't know that we'll get the approval and we don't know how long it'll take.
Are we in possession of this grant funds right now? Does the county have possession of the $200,000?
No, they will give us that once we start the work. We will submit pay requests and they will pay that.
So
So
is
one
there-
of the things one of the issues if you did modify it, because right now with the cost of everything, it's pretty expensive. We could probably buy ourselves some time as well if we ask for a modification on it. Because right now, you've got to the end of the year, and if you modify it, I would imagine they'll reset that date.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they could, and then not also, when you modify, you have to send in some modification requests, but then you also have to, if you're gonna go past the end of that grant, you have to send in a request to extend it.
So we need to determine what you guys want to do with that. It's just, like I say, we were gonna try to do grading. Our plan was to do the rough grading, get it all set up and as close as we could, then contract out 5 grading and it's gonna have a asphalted hard surface walking trail, bathrooms, pavilion. So we do it'd have a lot of construction work that we couldn't do in-house or just don't have time to do in-house. So we just need some direction on that. It's a good park, good location. I think we'd have a lot of use here certainly during the day. But it's up to you guys on how we want to go with that.
So you mentioned that it will have a lot of use. Has there been any study on it when this came up that how much use it will get, feedback, or what do we think people are going to use? I mean, is it worth the investment for the use that we forecasted with the park?
We really didn't do any formal request on that, but I do know that we had at that time, we had like several ladies from some of the buildings here who were walking, they walked down the street. And until, I think one day they had a list, so they stopped doing that. So I think you'd have a lot of daytime walkers there. It would be a grassy area with a playground, so we've had a lot of requests for playground. My concern is that we secure it in the evening at dark. We don't want people over there after dark. It'd be something we could, rent out for the pavilion, et cetera. So it was something that the community was asking for. We did put quite a bit of push and effort into securing the grant. But we just need direction on either move forward where we'll know to schedule public works or whether we need to modify it and come back.
Refresh my memory now, on this particular, plan. This was just the beginning of an overall or much larger, and that is to tie in, back to ball fields behind
Yes.
Springville High School.
Right.
The track, and I know the school board has their plans in place.
Right.
And they're beginning, I believe the track has already been put in place up there at high school or whatever, but all of this was kind of the setting the foundation for where we can move forward in the county. And it would be a central location. The park was just the beginning of it.
It was. And we went to the school system to see if they would donate a little triangular piece of property that was used. And we tried to see if they would be willing to donate that. We could then use it as in-kind, as our match. But they didn't want to do that right now. But as Ms. Rosa said, what we did do is we designed it, laid it out initially, and the designers come in and did it that way, where when you pull into the park, the entire park we have will be to your left and what we have now. But the road would be between the county property and the school system property. And the road was really set out to go off McLaughlin Road, come in around behind the school where there could be some ball fields. And then exit back up here on Roosevelt Highway. So there would be a loop in there eventually, but this was kind of the first phase of that project. So.
I think anytime you can move forward with something that involves community and recreation and young kids, it's a plus. And if we need to move forward to get the grant, I'm supportive of that too. But I guess they say if you build it, they will come. So I'm sure people will use. I've done projects in other counties around here as a contractor, and sure enough, you go by there now, there's folks out there, there's park benches along the walkway. And I'll tell you one, Harrison's at the time to put a sidewalk all down through the woods and comes around and benches along. And every time I go by there, there's cars parked, there's people walking on it, and kids are playing out there, so it would get used. I don't know what kind of study you'd have to do, but I think it would be done.
The tentative, budget for the, I think the engineers gave us this, it's knocking on the door of like $1 million. And I think we can cut that back, substantially maybe without modifying the overall plan. But there are some things in there we may have to take out to make the budget. And one of the things that we included was a dog park. And to me, that's kind of maybe we need a dog park, but maybe it needs to be another location, not where you have children playing and everything.
So if we cut items out, like you said, then basically we're adjusting the original grant, which we've got to reapply or make those amendment changes to.
We just have to put in a request with the new scope of work and to, the reason we're wanting to do the change and then submit it.
So with the current cost structure, we're going from an agreement 3 years ago of a $200,000 grant, county would match 200 to now it's going to cost the county 800,000 to do the full project.
Yeah.
We need to just redo the entire grant, buy ourselves more time. To me, I don't see how, if it wasn't able to be done in the last 3 years, how you gonna get it done by the end of this year? And why would we 4 times the amount of our commitment because we waited 3 years?
Well,
We
it
do
wasn't
the grant
our
so we
fault.
can get more.
Yeah.
No, I understand that.
Yeah.
The COVID and all those things happened. So that also affected the prices. So
Right.
to redo the grant, those higher COVID prices affected now also may increase the grant money and it gives us more time to get it done. If we try and do it within this scope and then by the end of this year, we're gonna spend $800,000 when we plan to spend 200. We got a lot of other things we can do.
Extend
with
it, that would be the way to go. If you redo the whole grant, you're gonna lose, you have to stop this grant and then reapply and there's no guarantee.
See, I think you could possibly modify it, and extend that, because right now.
Bullshit, I might word it,
Yeah.
modify, stop, whatever,
Yeah.
you guys, you
It's
know what to do, but
Yes.
and even if we lose it, and just my personal opinion, it's worth $600,000 to lose it. I mean, right now, we want to spend $600,000 we don't have to keep trying to do what we started to do there. I mean, that's a lot of money. If we need in other places just to finish something we weren't able to do in the last 3 years. I understand it's important, I agree. The more that we can do, but I don't want to do it for the sake of doing it and cost $600,000 more. I think we need to do it. We need to figure out a way to extend this and possibly get more grant money out of it based on the cost increases.
How about this? What we'll do is, before your next meeting, we'll set up a conference call. We'll see what we could do, how we may be able to do it, if there's ways to keep it on track or reduce the scope. If we say we're going to do playground equipment and we had scheduled, 2 playgrounds, we did 1 playground, we're still doing playground equipment. So maybe we can do it, that way. But what we'll do is we'll find out, and then we'll also find out the procedure going forward for the other. We'll bring that back to you guys. That'd be great. Now, so from there, I wanted to ask if there was any other projects that you guys, this is non-transportation projects, that you guys really wanted to discuss. I know we talked about reallocation of office space. We need some direction on that. If there's other projects you guys want to add coming out of our meeting, please let us know. But in order for us to move forward with the paperwork we need to do to get these things bid, we need some direction. And I would highly recommend that maybe we start with the jail, with the courthouse, and then maybe with the elections office, put together those scopes.
I agree with that. I think if you need approval of us to go after the rates for courthouse work and closing on the jail, I'm in favor of that. The pathways, I don't know if that's the definite location. We got other facilities that we've been discussing back and forth, all the moves that are almost ready to go, just with cheaper modification. I think we need another meeting to discuss.
Yeah.
What do we do with the board of elections? Where does it go? Before November, I think we've got some cheaper, quicker alternatives than that.
What you brought in on that?
Sure.
You need to be. Yeah, and I mean, we'll look back and see what we may be able to reduce that scope of work to, because the first one was a little higher than I thought it would come into, but but, you know,
I know the last meeting, we got the building next door that's almost finished. And there've been a lot of conversations, if we could move
Right.
there, and how could we rearrange? And it may be that that's, for this upcoming election, it's a better, quicker alternative for elections. Just get in there, get it set up, and then we can get a better long-term plan for the other buildings instead of having one empty.
possibly moving, just a move there temporarily to
Right, yeah.
get past the election and time to work on it.
Yeah, I just think we need a little more discussion around all that before we spend that much money.
And when we have this work session, or you guys do on the future plans of where you want to go with capital. One of the, maybe the first things would be the, ultimately where in the turnover and the movement of officers, where we want to go with everybody, have that plan established too. And then we can, I know we got tax building downtown. That's gonna be an expensive, project, in my opinion. And we talked about some other alternatives on that too, so.
That's exactly why I was saying that. I think we talked about a lot of things, moving
Yes,
in
we
a couple
did.
buildings, and we need to, like you're saying, what do we want to do?
Yeah.
And then let's move in a path that gets us to the end goal,
Right.
instead of just going here and here and doing a few things.
Well,
We're spending too much money.
Auditors came in.
Whenever y'all do discuss that, don't mind if we have some.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you need to, because you know what your needs are greater than we do. And so absolutely we need to.
Put some tents up.
Yes. And, yeah,
So from what I'm hearing, what you're saying, that you'd like to, somebody from the board here needs to make a motion that we move forward to get the paperwork and everything ready to get bids on the roof, courthouse, the jail, and at least start getting something ready to go with the electric.
we can do that.
Any
And
questions, any comments? We have a motion.
have the paperwork, plumbing, they don't put it out.
yeah, we got it. We just want to,
You want us to acknowledge to move forward.
that's where we get those prices
That's all I'm
that we're
motion.
to deal with. Yes.
We got a motion.
I make a motion to move forward, getting price and quotes for the courthouse and jail roof, like jail plumbing.
Got a motion?
Second.
You got a second, all in favor?
Okay. Thank you. That'll get us started. And once we get that out the door, we can talk more, we'll know more what we have. And we will research that, recreation and bring that back, next time.
It's a lot of, that's a big difference of money. That's the only reason.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah.
All right, number 9, discussion of SUV for sheriff department.
Yes, sir. Chairman, Commissioners, the sheriff's office, who some of their work has come across, they have a couple of full drive pickup trucks that they've taken out of service, but they're still good. They're just not patrol worthy good. And also with that, we have a situation where they've also through some of their enforcement actions have secured a F-350 truck. It is not a deal. I wish it was. We could use it probably in public works, but the fire department has expressed an interest in that. This is a very nice truck. It's I don't know, it's a few years old, but it has about 100,000 miles, all it has on it. And so the fire department has expressed a need and a desire to have that to take out of service some of their really high volume trucks that they have on the road right now. So in doing so, the sheriff's office has proposed that they would gift over to the county the F-350 and the 2 four-wheel drive pickup trucks. What they're looking for is 2 SUVs that would be outfitted to handle their K-9 units. And so what they would like to ask the board to consider is if you would consider allowing basically them to gift those to the county, the other trucks, and allow them to have enough dollars in the budget to be able to purchase those 2 SUVs for their K-9 units. And they are about 50 each probably, time they get them outfitted. And we do have dollars we're able to do that with.
Well, there's not funds in the sheriff budget already for vehicle purchases.
There is spots allocated for public vehicle replacements. The staff will recommend SPOS being the funding source.
So was it not budgeted in the sheriff's budget to purchase vehicles out of his budget?
Not in the general fund, no, sir.
Not at all, anyway.
There've been through the SPOS referendum, public safety vehicles were
Right.
part of the SPOS.
I just want to make
I'll-
sure it's already
I'll be-
budgeted here and.
No, sir.
Right, right, yeah.
No capital projects of that sort was budgeted. It's all through SPOS.
Yeah.
And we do have the funds
You
now to pay them. if
You know,
it
the
Wants to move forward.
350, gosh, I would imagine the market value of that thing's pretty high. It's a nice, nice
sure.
It's got a flatbed in the back with a pop up where you can put a fifth wheel in there. What they do is they put a bed on it or something that we might could sell that, to somebody had a truck would haul a trailer or something that'd be nice to have. It's a kind of a blade of steel, so it'd be something, you'll look at surplus it if we didn't need it. So.
Wishes of the board?
What exactly we need to do again?
We need to make a motion to,
Allow them to
we
purchase.
want to take the vehicles from the sheriff's department they're offering and to allow them to go get 2 SUVs. Correct?
Not to exceed what?
It's roughly gonna be 100,000 for both, maybe 105.
Yeah.
At the most. They're gonna try to, anything they can take off the 4x4 pickups, they're gonna try to reuse on the outfitted for the new SUV.
Well, what we say not to exceed, 115, and then we'll bring them in under.
I'll make a motion, we allow to accept the vehicles from the sheriff department, allow them to pursue purchasing 2 SUVs not to exceed $115,000.
Got a motion on the floor?
Second.
A second, all in favor?
Okay, thank you.
Number 10, road patching.
Road patching, we received some requests, we talked about a while ago. I guess sometime last year about having, some contractors pre-qualified to do some work, but particularly in the event of like, that time we had a lot of rain, just like we do now, and had a lot of road that we needed some work on. And, one of the theories that we've dealt with recently is that we just have a lot of roads that are old, they'll end up with potholes. And there's been a request from some board members just to consider us, maybe putting together some small bid packages that we could do, because you're not talking about a whole lot of money, but we'd bid it out, be based on that, but it wouldn't have to be as formal as our, the big bids, which are millions of dollars. And what we could do is if the board could identify, a road that you'd like in your district or whatever, we could go back out, we could count the potholes, estimate the cost, and put together a very quick bid package for that, and and seek bids on getting that work done. I know we have some local companies here that will do that, and we could get that out, and that will help certainly relieve Public Works crews from things they've got to do, because there's still a lot of work they have out there. So you guys will like to do that. I don't really need the action today, but maybe at your next meeting, if you guys have some roads that need patching, and it would help the longevity of it, whatever, let us know, and we'll come in and try to work that up to get those, bid packages put out.
My question on that, would the specifications for whatever patching is done meet a certain standard?
Yes, ma'am.
And with that being said, any prior companies that have done work in the past that didn't meet standard be excluded? I mean.
That would be.
And with that being said, our public works crew, I know they're overworked and all, but at the same time, we don't need to get in a situation where we've got inferior profit.
I agree, 100%. And we would spec those out to the work that would basically to the level that we have. And then we'd check out references and everything, and it would come back to you guys for final approval.
Okay.
Before we did anything with it.
But we definitely need some options to help get caught.
Yeah, well, it's just that not
There,
yes.
yes, overwhelmed.
And what we don't want to do is just have it open where it's say, hey, go out and patch that, because years ago, before we actually developed our paving standards, and put together paving packages. We just sort of took proposals on paving roads, so you don't know what you get in that scenario, because, one's here, one's there, one uses less materials. But we would specify the materials and all.
And that we won't take any action today on this. We're just basically, need to come up with the list of roads for our district, right?
If that's something you guys want to do, yes, come up with a couple of roads, maybe each for your district that you want, and we'll put together a package, patch it.
Well,
But we do need to take action as far as you bid it out to other, outside the county.
Yeah, I mean, what you'll do when you come back next meeting, you'll basically say, here are the roads. What we can do is we can go ahead and be putting the packages together in the interim, and we can plug in the roads at that time. So we'll go ahead as long as we know that's what you guys want to do. Again, we just don't want to spin our wheels.
exactly. And with that being said, I know that it has been, whatever, I know I've got roads in my district that need to be addressed.
Right.
And with that being said, if this is a viable option, but there again, and I'm gonna throw Ellis Road out there, there was a lot of time spent on Ellis. And when the bid came in, it was so high. And, I don't want us to go down that road again.
Right.
Especially with the problems we've had in the past.
Right.
I'll leave it at that.
Well, right, and of course, we may get there, it may be very cost effective, it could very well come back that, wow, this is expensive, we need to look elsewhere.
Right.
But, hopefully we'll get some good proposals in, we'll be able to make some of those repairs and release some work from Public Works. And we can see how it works, if you guys are satisfied with it, we could do more. If you think it didn't turn out or it was costly, we don't have to do any, or we can do those and then move on to something else. So,
Okay.
so we can do it that way. And we did get some, I will mention, John probably gonna mention it too, but we did get, extra big money. We were $525,000 we had requested. And, we requested originally for the road, Coleman Creek Circle, in order to prepare it for that detour. But, when we got in, it was 525, but Coleman Creek to do a full depth reclamation was about $2 million. And we didn't want to put the 1.5 million toward it. So we called GDOT back and we asked them if they would allow us to move it over to Lucasville Road, which they did. And, so when we were checking and Allison's running that down, they had not sent us dollars yet on that. So we went ahead and applied and they sent the money in this week.
Yes, sir. After we sent them the invoice that we paid, they reimbursed $525,000 of it because it was Luthersville on the 23 LMU project schedule.
So our fund balance went up by 525.
So when we get back to Coleman Creek though, is DOT gonna help with that road since they detoured everybody for the break?
I don't think they'll help. Now, I will say this, the road did not sustain as much damage as
No, it
I
did
thought
not.
it would.
No.
Held up much better, but we'll have to do some work on it.
Yes.
So they probably won't come back and help us with it. But there again, we put it on the big and it doesn't hurt to ask. I mean, the way we got this 525 was asking. We went and asked. Sometimes, they'll say no, but sometimes they'll say yes. So I don't mind asking again for Coleman Creek.
Yes, sir. Any other questions on the board on number 10?
As long as you pay most, please don't forget about our dirt roads when you do them. Okay?
What's
Yeah,
that?
but we'll
Please
be.
don't forget about our dirt roads when you talk about the pay
Oh, we
roads.
won't.
Please don't forget about our dirt.
I didn't want to go on discussion earlier when your comments were not supposed to, but we are 100% on dirt roads around here right now, trust
Thank
me.
you very much.
But 6.5 inches of rain causes everybody problems.
But this is
But
our.
we- I understand.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, number 11, chair to sign, did you say the hazardous litigation grant?
Hazard mitigation.
Mitigation.
Yeah. So
Okay, mitigate, okay, sorry.
we have to do that every year and, or every other year or so. And, it's just a way that you can deal with emergency situations in your community. And it is a plan that FEMA will help fund. And right now it's about a $30-something thousand project. we would only have to pay about $7,000 to get that complete plan done. And of course, I think the federal government's going to say you got to have this plan. So what we need to do is just ask you guys to approve this plan update grant application for FEMA and ask the chairman to sign it.
Do we have a motion?
I make a motion to approve. That hazard mitigation for the chairman to sign.
Second.
Second,
Thank you.
all in favor?
That it? Thank you, sir.
Continues, that's wraps up everything under new business. We'll move right on into report from the county administrator.
Okay, thank you, sir. Again, I'd already mentioned about the big money we received. We're glad to be able to get that. Also, there's a leadership Meriwether class that we will be conducting here.
Government Day, we do it every year. It's on March the 21st.
March 21st. So we'll send some information out on it. But what we'll have is the group will come in, the leadership group will come in that day. We'll do, we'll have some refreshments that morning. We will probably bring in lunch. We'll go through all the specifications of the county. And we'll take some tours of some of the county facilities. And we'll spend pretty much most of the day with that group. And we invite any of you guys who'd like to come, or any of you want to do the presentation, we'll be happy to have that too. So we'll be putting that together in probably a PowerPoint based upon some stuff we've done in the past. And so anyway, we just wanted to make you guys aware of that, and that was going to be coming. Okay. I met with Recreation. We talked about that already. We assisted in the review of some subdivision plans. Georgia Transmission, who is a utility company, is proposing a new 1 mile section of 115 kV transmission lines. They're going to have an open house here in this room on March the 5th from 6 to 8 p.m. Okay. Anyone is interested, that line will actually be out at the industrial park. It'll run on the backside of the industrial park between the interstate and our industry. Here's the proposed line is here, and it will run from to a substation. This is where the water tank is, right there, if you know, at the industrial park. So this line will come off of a transmission line back here. It will extend along the back of our industrial park and will terminate here at a new substation. So public hearing. Sometimes you get a lot of controversy if these things are going through residential areas, but this one is industrial, so I don't anticipate we will. But we'll send you information out on it. And if you guys are interested, the open house will be March the 5th, 6 to 8 p.m. And that's what I have. We do have some executive session items, one matter of litigation and personnel.
We'll get to that then. All right. Anything from Blue?
Yes, sir. I've had a very busy couple of weeks. We had meetings with the Industrial Authority, helping to try to secure a client for the industrial park, worked with Board of Education, not just on transportation with the rain, but also some workforce and technology connections. Attended the Lead Academy with 6 other members of the county. I was looking forward to it and looking forward to coming up here and telling them everything that we're doing. Worked with the recreation discussions. Also worked with Kathy on some things that we've got coming in, and it's been it was a good 2 weeks.
Sounds good. All right, we'll move right on. Report from the county commissioner. Comments?
Now, I'd just like to thank the staff and all the employees for the job they're doing, and especially on the dirt roads and we've got it done. And we had a Lake Meriwether meeting last night. We're gonna build some picnic tables, and also they're gonna be between the conjunction with the Meriwether County Rec Department and Doodle Barbecue. They're gonna have a barbecue cook-off in April. And all the proceeds will go to the Meriwether County Rec Department. That's all I have.
What's that date again, Commissioner? April 5th.
I don't have anything that I recall right now.
Thank everyone for what they're doing. The recent rain and flooding kind of made it difficult for the road work we've been doing and kind of eroded some of the work we've already done. Got to go back and redo some things because of the 6 inches of rain overnight to do that. So I ask the citizens to be patient. We're working on that. One of the things about the patch project, free up staff to be able to continue work there, not having to do paved and dirt road projects. So we're trying and moving in the right direction, and I thank everyone for the hard work they're doing that. I was able to go to the IDA meeting earlier this week. First one I've been to in a while, and it was a very good meeting. A lot of positive things coming out of there, a lot of exciting news that was coming out that I wasn't aware of. So there was some good things moving there. I enjoyed that. And thank everyone for what they do.
Same thing. I appreciate the staff and everybody stepping up and helping us get things done. Barry's been great. My phone's been ringing. Of course, people understand when they call, they go, I know it's a lot of rain, but sir, please, I'm going, thanks. So, Barry and his crew's been getting out there pretty quick. I had to call him yesterday. The road completely, in fact, it's the road I live on, completely underwater. No barricades or anything. It was just right at dark. And I called him 20 minutes later. The crew was out there putting barricades up. I didn't want nobody to come around the curve in the middle of the dark. Right. And hit a river. But so thanks for everybody what they're doing, and let's continue moving forward. I don't have anything else. Anything from the county attorney?
I would like to make one comment,
Please.
just to let everyone know this is a positive. Earlier in the week, I was able to listen to the legislative update through the state. They was talking about additional funding similar to LMIG. It will be applied for like the LMIG, like we do every year. However, it won't be considered LMIG. There will be no match required. And from what I understand, that application process opens up April the 1st. And there is, they're talking about it being similar to what you received in your LMIG funding. So I know the county received around 800,000.
Right.
So we're set to be able to apply for that. So.
That'll
We
be
can
good.
get that, and the one we're gonna get some in
Some
there.
good news.
That's
I
right.
listened on some of it the other day too, and I see they're gonna make cornbread the official bread of Georgia.
Yeah, I saw that.
Somebody sent me something, but our legislators at work here.
Yeah. Working hard for it. But if nothing else, then we're gonna make a motion to adjourn this meeting and go into executive session. Got a motion?
So move.
Second? Second. All in favor? You have a motion to go back into
Regular
regular session.
So moved.
Yes, most second. And second, all in favor? We're now back in the regular session. No action was taken in executive session. And if there's nothing else anyone else has got to bring up or discuss, do I have a motion to adjourn today's meeting?
So moved.
Got a motion? Second. Got a second? All in favor? Adjourn.